What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Friday the 14th podcast, UHD. I am the 4K bad guy, my co-host.
I am the real one, Nick. Nice to see you, and joined by a special guest today.
A special guest, Mr.
What's up, everybody? I'm
Mr.
Jake,
Funko Fat Guy.
Funko Fat Guy. How's it going? I'd like to apologize because you guys, this was my idea, and I basically made you guys watch this movie, and I did not realize how much just dick and ball torture there was in it. I didn't remember, but there it is. I watched it again earlier today, and my goodness,
Okay.
sorry.
No, you're good. You needed some content, man.
Well, you got it.
Well, before getting into this, starting the review, I would like to bring it back to the moment when this was kind of brought up. Where's the thing at? Oh, man. We're gonna watch a little playback. We could just like randomly do like the one you said, Father's Day. I don't know. My co-host is a father, so I don't know if he'd be
You
down
are
to
in
do a
for
Father's Day.
either a treat or
I
don't even know how to describe it. I'm not going to describe the plot to you. You can figure that out on your own. But there's not a whole lot of fathers in it. But they do play a pivotal role.
That's all I need to know.
It's disturbing. It's highly disturbing.
But I knew what I signed up for when making this podcast.
If you do Father's Day, I want to be on it.
You want to be on it?
Yes, I do. Because that movie, I love that movie.
Nice.
I
Definitely.
don't know why. And watching it back again, I still don't know why. I'm like, this is way worse than I remember. In a good way, but like, my God, it's so outrageous. I described it pretty well. Like, you're in for it.
The thing about because this was done on Emo's Wall Live, which I kind of stopped at the moment, but I don't know if you saw the background or anything. You saw the UHD banner on the bottom. That was before the show had even started, so I thought it was a cool idea. Like, just it's like the pre-planning of this episode. Storytelling.
Seeds were dropped.
Seeds were dropped.
Oh, and I have plenty of stuff like this. I mean, I have just a collection basically of just nonsense, like horror movies that are like they're like more comedies than anything. Sunday I just watched The Velocipaster. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one. But I highly recommend that one. That one's great. Again, more of a comedy than a horror, but it's still technically, I guess, in the horror comedy genre. What a movie. It's exactly what you think it is. It's about a pastor that turns into a velociraptor.
I've seen it on Amazon Prime. Well, I haven't watched it, but I've seen the thumbnail. I was like,
highly recommend it.
Also, since we also mentioned a movie on that podcast, on that live stream, I finally got my hands on that box set.
That was the other one I was going to bring up. Apparently, I already have.
Oh boy, it's been out of stock for a while, and like, oh, what do you know? They restocked it.
Physical media of like weird shit is hard to get.
Yeah.
Like finding a copy of Father's Day, last I checked, was hard as well. It might be better now, but when I got mine, I mean, I got mine.
Hold yours up, one. Where's it?
Hey, all right. Father's Day. What a movie. I love like the design. I mean, I know Blu-ray and DVDs are a dying market, but like I love the design of this one. Like it's like a VHS tape and everything, and the whole movie, for those who haven't seen it, haven't had the wonderful pleasure of seeing it. It's the whole movie is based on like a old school VHS movie, basically, like an old school television movie, which is fascinating. It's an interesting way to do things for sure.
And yeah, you said it's hard to get a hold of. I literally bought mine just a few days ago, and then I checked on bestbuy.com, and I can't have a hard time seeing it, but it's already sold out.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's because Father's Day is right around the corner or this movie is
right.
But
I wouldn't show this to my father.
It's sold out.
But yeah, physical media for weird stuff like this and Thanksgiving and like stuff like Hansel and Gretel get baked, like a whole bunch of weird shit. Like they're all sold out all the time. I just bought and this one's not sold out because it's probably really terrible, but I just bought the Banana Splits horror movie. I don't know if have you guys heard about that?
I've heard of me seeing a thumbnail. Another one of those movies.
I just bought it. I went to Bull Moose Sunday and I found it and I was like, well, I need this. This is amazing. So I'm interested, and it kind of made me think of the Winnie the Pooh horror movie that's coming out pretty soon. That is just going to be putrid, like it's going to be the worst piece of shit ever. But I am so excited. I am so excited for just how nonsensical it's going to be.
Yeah,
but it's going to be interesting.
So these are, some movies we already discussed. Like these are like the cheesy horror type movies. It just goes into a question you probably already answered on the live stream we did. But just for the UHD audience, what are like top favorite horror movies that are personal favorites or whatever?
If I were to pick, it's kind of hard because horror movies are kind of not super recent, but like within the last 10 years, I've been watching horror movies. Like it hasn't been a real like super recent thing. Friday the 13th. No, not Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street is like not my number one, but he's my number one villain. Does that make sense? There you go. Like he's just the best. Like he's the best villain in my opinion. But my number one horror movie is kind of a more recent one ish. Not really. It's kind of older at this point, but The Conjuring I think is one of the best hands down horror movies of all time. Like actually scary shit. And I think that's one of the best horror movies of all time, even though it's more modern.
It's because of Patrick Wilson.
Yes, yeah, definitely because of Patrick Wilson. Absolutely.
That's a good answer. I would probably think a lot of people, not saying you directly, but I'm saying like even just people get into horror, it would be like the Conjuring movies or Insidious.
It's a good Insidious is another one. It's a good starting point because like with the slasher films, they're fine, like they're fun movies, but they're not. Most of them, to me, were not like scary. They were more just like campy and like kind of goofy, but like they had the sense of thrill more so than actually scared. Whereas The Conjuring, it's a thing you can't really see. Like that's the thing for me. And like Paranormal Activities and stuff like that, like those movies. Ghost shit is way scarier to me. Like ghost and demon shit is way scarier to me than any slasher. For me personally. Just because you can't see it, it's not a threat you can see physically. So
John Cena.
Yes, yeah, like John Cena. If he started a horror movie, that'd be a double whammy. Like if he was a guy with a knife, whoa, man, that'd be scary.
Oh boy,
I want to see it. A John Cena horror movie, that'd be amazing.
It's already out. It's called The Marine.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Damn. Oh man. There's some way I'll bring up, but that'll be towards the end of the stream. I'll promote it. As far as the synopsis, cast and crew,
synopsis.
The synopsis. I have my phone on me, so Juan, you might need to assist me with this.
Yes, sir.
I'll just read the back of this for now. Father's Day is over the top, tasteless, senseless, and completely hilarious. Ain't it cool news? I'm assuming that's one of the people.
Then your cast is starring Adam Brooks, Matthew Kennedy, Amy Growing, Connor Sweeney, Brent Neal, Lloyd Kaufman, Kevin Anderson. Not really a big well-known cast, but man, I don't think you need it for this kind of a horror movie.
I mean, Lloyd Kaufman, this is his whole deal. Like he's the director. He was also in the movie. But this is his whole deal. He takes unknown people and just puts them into weird random shit like this, and it's great. And he's in all. I'm pretty sure he's in all his movies too. So
there you go.
It's his thing.
And the plot's simple right here. It says on IMDb: a murderer, a priest, and a delinquent try to bring down a father-killing madman. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, a murderer, a priest, and a delinquent. And then I was like, walk into a bar?
I mean, they might as well. That is the tame version of what this movie is. Yeah.
Yeah. Once we get into the movie, man, damn. I was like, what is this?
But again, if you guys can't find it on physical media like we did, go check it out on Amazon Prime. You can rent it for only $2.99, which I think is a pretty good deal. It's only an hour and a half. So never heard of it before, Nick. Before you brought it up, I'll save my thoughts for a little bit later, but I do definitely think it's worth a one-time watch.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You'll probably never want to watch it again, but you gotta see it at least once just to really get the feeling of what Troma really is.
You need to watch it on Father's Day, to be exact.
Watch it with nobody else around. Like
that's what I told Juan.
That's what Nick told me, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save my thoughts, and then I'm gonna save for what I did with this movie until we get deep into the episode. But I think I'm just gonna say it now. This might be because I'm a little shit, but I showed my mom this movie.
I show a lot of my friends this movie,
and let's just say her mouth was open almost the entire time.
That's hilarious. That's great. I approve of that behavior.
Here, watch this.
Yeah, watch this.
Oh.
And I mean, I don't make any of this stuff up. I did not know how the movie was going to start, okay? And before I showed this movie off, I made hot links on the grill, and we sat down and had a mouthful of hot links, and then the movie started. And I was like, you know what? What the fuck did I get myself into?
That is probably arguably the worst thing that you could have made for this movie. And I forgot how it started too. I was like, oh my God, I show this to people? Oh my God, What is wrong with me? What's twisted up in my brain?
I'll never eat a hot link the same way again.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I don't think I came into this movie with anything to eat, anything. Go on an empty stomach.
I don't think anyone could know what to expect. I really don't. I mean, it's one of those movies where you're like, scene after scene, you're like, what's going on? What the hell is going on right now? And just a lot of gratuitous dick and balls, and I forgot about it, and I was like, oh my God, I've seen this movie at least twice now, 3 times, and I didn't remember it being that bad. But there they were.
All right. Well, our next little parts in this stream is Juan's favorite part. Ratings.
But
now,
go for it.
I was gonna say, I should have gave Funko Fat Guy here heads up. Normally, me and the real one like to pull up. It's like we have little images we pull up and show our rating. We do like butter knives. Blood dripping off of it.
Yeah, I've seen the graphics.
Yeah, so I don't know if I should have told you to put like a paper or something like that. Just put your number and hold it up, or you can just do it the old-fashioned way. Just say it out loud.
Have to say it, yeah.
Say it out loud, and we'll post it for you.
So, are you guys gonna go first, or am I gonna go first?
Usually we do the whole grand of whoever really wanted to pick the movie can go first.
That'd be me. Well. It's hard. It's really difficult because it's not a good movie. Like, rating it is difficult because it is not a good movie. Like, but that's the point. It's a movie that knows it's not a good movie. It was the same with Velocipaster. It's a movie that knows it's not a good movie. So to be conservative, am going to say it's out of 5, right?
Out of 5, yeah.
I'm going to say 3.5. I'm going to say 3.5 because they're perfect. Because it's not a good movie, but it is a movie that knows it's bad and is bad very well on purpose. The budget for this movie, you guys are probably going to talk about like facts and whatever, but like the budget of this movie was $10,000. That's it. So like that's impressive to me, even for a bad movie. Like that's impressive, especially with all the blood and gore that they had in this thing. So I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 for me. It's tough. It's a tough one.
Oh shit! I mean, just like you said, I mean, it is intentionally supposed to be bad, and there's I'll say a couple of scenes, but there's probably more. But to me, like favorite scenes, I was like, it's pretty hilarious but dark at the same time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. the whole movie. I mean, the whole movie's full of hilarious and dark.
I'm trying to think back. What did I rate Thanksgiving movies?
Those are probably about the same for me.
I know Thanksgiving 3, I gave that a 2.5.
Thanksgiving 3 was the worst of them. Yeah, I mean, of all three, Thanksgiving 3 was the worst.
That was the one that was funded, backed up.
Yeah, that one was worse.
Okay.
But Thanksgiving 1 is pretty much a cinematic masterpiece.
You know, I think this score is fair. A 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's high.
It is pretty high. But as being a horror fan, it really doesn't matter how cheesy it is.
True.
Just like watching horror movies.
Tis true. Man, I kind of feel like I'm gonna like whip out the whipping lash on this one, but I love movies like Machete, and I love movies like the Grindhouse films. So I'm kind of right there with you guys. Like I'm like, you know, I know this is a bad movie. The movie itself knows it's a bad movie. But I did kind of have a little bit of a rough time watching it. So I'm going to go down just a little bit and give this movie on purely based on rewatchability. Because like you said, Jake, I don't know if I'd ever want to watch it again. I'm going to give this movie a 1.5.
Okay.
I
get it. Like, I totally understand. It's one of those movies that could rate anywhere from 0 to 5, and I'd be like, I understand what you're doing here.
I think this movie did exactly what it was supposed to do. On just a short, sweet review before we like get into it like fully. This movie seems like it's going to be one of those for me that it's super fun to put it in front of somebody else to watch. And I watched somebody else's reaction to this movie. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know what? And I think I'm proud with the purchase. I'm proud of the watch. And I'm proud to put this in front of somebody and sit back and let it entertain them, as in let their reaction entertain me.
Yeah, that's almost exclusively what I do with it now.
Yeah.
And clearly I did it to the both of you. I didn't get to see the reactions, but I was like, hey, watch this. Just because it's fun it's a movie that's fun to get out there more, because no one's heard of it. Like, it's so super underground, and like, but it's also, it has a cult following. It's kind of one of those movies. And yeah, it's just fun to get people out there and hear reactions.
I would like to do almost like a local screening of this, and just to hear a reaction out of people in the
just audible gasps from old people that show up.
And
why not like a drive-in?
Yeah, free showing, one night only.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be worth it. Yeah, just for the reactions alone.
Yeah,
100% worth the rental price for sure.
Yeah, to put a disclaimer: don't bring kids.
Oh no, don't put that. Ruin their lives, scar them for their entire lives.
But at least for me, like, yeah, I own like a lot of terrible movies, but this is one of those that's just like, you know what? I don't think it's short and sweet as far as like the rewatchability goes, but I think it definitely has a spot for me as far as it's bad, but it's good to be bad kind of movie.
Mm-hmm. And it was kind of the same, short and sweet. You say that. Velocipaster, it was like 72 minutes. I was like, this is perfect. Yeah. This is so to the point, but it's also still so ridiculous. And that's what these movies should be. Thanksgiving can't be too long. It's probably like an hour, maybe a little over an hour. And like those movies can't be like 2-hour masterpieces. Like, that's not, that can't be a thing. We ain't watching a 4-hour Titanic here. We're watching Thanksgiving and Father's Day and Velocipaster. This is not Titanic. So James Cameron ain't taking the helm on this one.
The father's killer, though. I'm pretty sure people are glad he wasn't girthy with all the raping he was doing. This movie is pretty. If I could put like a little small negative on this point, I was like, the full blown dick and balls raping scenes are like
yeah,
maybe a little over the top.
Oh, absolutely! I was watching it again earlier today, and I'm like, oh my god, I made other people watch this. I did not remember just how much gratuitous dick and balls there were in this movie. And then after it, I was like, we got to talk about this now. All right,
we gotta talk about it.
Hey, but I'm
need
up for it. Wouldn't be the first
some...
time I'm talking about dick and balls on a live stream, whatever.
I need to see a therapist. I mean, what the...
I need to see a therapist for a lot of things. This is included.
You know, we showed off the Blu-ray earlier. I like to show off the little simple thing, posters I kind of cut and paste together.
Yeah, design-wise, I love it. I think it's a great design. It reminds me of like old school posters and stuff. And then that's the point. It's supposed to remind you of like an old school VHS TV movie, basically.
Yeah, and I like how when you put the disc in before it even takes you to the main menu, it shows it off like it's going to be a coming up at like 1 a.m. in the morning, like a almost like a softcore porno.
Oh yeah, kind of was.
Yeah,
kind of was.
True. This had better acting in it though.
Not by much. But yeah, it's a movie. That's the best way I can describe it. It sure is a movie that I've watched.
Let's see. You want to go with favorite scenes, or you want to go break down this movie?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty fun to talk about some favorite scenes before we kind of dig into it, or we can dig into it as we talk about some favorite scenes. What about you, Jake? How do you want to get into it? You have some favorite scenes that you want to kind of name off?
I feel like we could call out our favorite scenes as we kind of go through it. I feel like that'd be the best way to do it, because there is just so much gold here in between, like the sick scenes that are in it. There's still so much gold. Like if you take all that out, the movie's great. I mean, the movie's still great anyway. But if you take all that out, you take out all the dad raping, then I mean, the movie's even better, in my opinion. But I get why you only need that once or twice to really establish what's going on. But no, they just had it a billion times because they really wanted to get the point across.
Yeah, it's still that character.
What
was his name again? His name was
Chris Fuckman.
Chris Fuckman.
His name was Chris Fuckman. Yeah. And he was trying to. He was like this is kind of going to give away the plot of the movie, but whatever. We're kind of at that point anyway. He's basically a vessel for the Fuckmanicus demon. Yeah, which is a bigger Fuckman. Yeah.
So memory's kind of a little fuzzy at the moment because I did watch this maybe on the weekend, I believe. So it does start out how like with that scene where Fuckman comes out.
Yeah. It starts out with the Fuckman, which we don't know at the time. We don't know his name at the time, but we learn that a little bit later. He's raping a father, which sets the tone for the whole thing. And it's just, there's a lot of blood, and he's eating the guts, and he's eating his penis, and he's eating a bunch of things. And then we think we see him running away, but it turns out to not actually be him. And then Ahab, our main character, guy with an eye patch, which makes me I want an eye patch. Like, I don't need one, but I super want one, just for fun.
Eye patches.
Oh, so cool.
Make characters look cool.
Yeah. So Ahab murders this guy and says the title of the movie, Happy Father's Day. And that what a way to start. What a way to start. But we learned later on that that is not the actual Fuckman. He was framed. So he's just a murderer, and he went to jail for 10 years. Which seems like not a lot.
It's crazy how they set up a character. Not only does he rape fathers, but he's also a cannibalist.
Yeah, and basically a Satanist. Like
Satanist also.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on. Lot going on, that Fuckman.
You guys make him trend as an icon for the wrong reasons.
I mean, he could have. He's a serial killer, so we worship serial killers in America. So might as well worship Chris Fuckman.
What do you think about the character, Juan? Do you think he's a good fit as the villain?
I mean, he's definitely a good fit. He makes you kind of get that icky, sick feeling of every time he pops up on the screen, whether he's doing the dirty or whether he's going to town on somebody's insides. But I think something that kind of gets overlooked is the way his facial expressions are when he is going into doing anything he's doing. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a movie, and I think, putting all that crazy, grotesque stuff aside, the actual actor who is portraying Fuckman is the facial mannerisms are actually pretty fun. He goes through and he does his deed, and he does his job, because at the end of the day, you kind of hate his guts.
And then he eats the guts.
He eats your guts. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see Human Centipede 2?
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, just the first one.
So this guy reminds me of a lot of the villain from Human Centipede 2. If you guys ever get, I won't say anything about it.
The bigger guy with the glasses, right?
Yeah. He was also in Human Centipede 3.
Oh.
Human Centipede 3 was my favorite. It's everyone's least favorite, but that was a straight up comedy movie. Human Centipede 3 was a comedy because of the overacting of the main villain. Basically, what the cool thing about Human Centipede 3, I know this is not what this is about, but I'm going to say it. The cool thing about Human Centipede 3 is it's the main villain from the first one and the main villain from the second one completely playing different characters running a prison. And then they make a giant human centipede. I recommend that one. Second one, it's a little fucked up. Well, they're all fucked up, but you get the point. But Human Centipede 3 is a comedy movie to me.
There's that Scream Factory collection that I think it's already out of print, though. That it's like it would be cool to own on Blu-ray.
I liked the Human Centipede movies just for what they were. They were not bad. Like, those movies weren't bad. I mean, they were actually pretty good. They're just really gross. Like, this is a bad movie, the one we watched, but Human Centipedes are actually decent. They're just gross, in my opinion.
See, Human Centipede took Eden S to another level.
It started the trend.
Is that spoiler? Started the trend.
Yeah. People were like, if they can do it, let's make that a sexual fantasy.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. And I mean, I've went on record on this show and even on my own show saying I like weird, gross, nasty shit. But you know what? Father's Day popped my cherry 10 times harder, because this took it to a whole new level.
Yep.
But I didn't hate it. So, yeah.
What would your rating have been if you did hate it? That's the one, because it was low already. But like, what could how much lower could it go?
I honestly think if I did hate it, I don't think I would have given it any kind of stars, and I would have just probably told everybody not to even. It's not worth anybody's time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, something that also I don't think got brought up yet is the score to this movie.
It's high.
And some of the music is like kind of
a high point for sure.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're watching something that you honestly shouldn't be watching.
It's a cheesy action horror, but also fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like the score is just as big as some of the characters in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it was mostly done by like 3 or 4 people. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of people involved. Like I said, the budget for this movie was $10,000. Like, that is nothing. Like, that's literally nothing.
It's impressive to me.
It is. It's super impressive. And even some of the special effects, some of them were bad. Like, some of them were terrible. But then some of the makeup, like the blood makeup and stuff like that, was phenomenal. Like, they spent most of their budget on the VFX for sure. Yeah,
I was going to say the actors probably did it for a bag of chips and a hot dog, and all the money went towards the prosthetics, because the guts, the blood, dude was sitting there gnawing on a penis, all that stuff looked legit. And I was like, are you sure he's not eating the real thing?
Well, we don't know.
Special features? No, there is no special features, unfortunately.
We don't know.
Yeah. What if you guys? I mean, that's one thing I was going to bring up, since everybody did have the physical media copy. If there was some special features in there, what would you guys want to see in the special features?
Just a making of. Like, how do you get through this? How do you seriously get through this? Like, I mean, most people didn't have scenes with the fuckman, so like, he was his own thing. He was mostly acting with props, basically. But like, man, some of the stuff like is so ridiculous, and I would want to see a whole making of this whole movie. And there are special features.
You probably check on YouTube.
You have to get to them through the movie, which is a bit weird. But like, you can bring up a small menu during the movie. I didn't do it. But if you bring up a small menu during the movie, there's play, chapters, and then special features. I didn't look at them, but they are in there. But I don't know what they are.
I would have just liked to hear the writers or the director. Like, you know, sometimes people are like, yeah, I thought of this movie at my lake house over the weekend. I would have liked to hear his thoughts and how he came up with most of this stuff and how it became on the paper and then how it went on to being on actual film.
Yeah, Lloyd Kaufman, I would love to walk around in his brain for a day, because every single movie he's made is like this. Every single one. Well, I mean, they're all gory and fucked up, is what I'm saying. They're not all just like this, but yeah, Toxic Avenger is another one. Like, they're doing a Toxic Avenger 2. Like, they're doing. He does a lot. there was WWE Super, or like wrestlers versus zombies or something. There's a bunch of stuff. But yeah, he's a twisted minded fella, and I appreciate him.
What do you think of the scene where the brother finds out that his sister's a stripper, and he kind of seems like really disappointed, and she's like, "What'd you expect?"
Yeah, like, you left me in an orphanage. Like, of course, this is how I turned out. I mean, it's a great scene, and it's full of tits. Like, how could I be upset about it? I think she was actually super good. I think here's the thing. I think all the actors were pretty good for what they were given. Like, for what they had
for sure.
Ahab is ridiculously hilarious. He was John Wick before John Wick was John Wick, you know? Like, he reminds me so much of John Wick, it's not even funny. And it's the same kind of plot, too. It's like a revenge plot. So it's very similar to John Wick in the weirdest way.
And you know, it's funny that you say that, because I did get some strange HBO Showtime After Dark John Wick vibes. And I was like, you know what? Another thing that I can appreciate is how many movies that you see today, mainstream wise, might have seen this actually like 11 years ago and started just picking small things from it, and now it's intertwined in a John Wick or in a Quentin Tarantino movie. And I'm like, that's kind of cool, sitting back and seeing, like, you know, this is an unheard movie of over 10 years ago, and I'm sure a lot of famous people and directors have probably picked certain parts of this movie and put it in their own.
Yeah, Troma is like one of those directors that people do know about. Like, I mean, he's not some of his movies might be unknown, but like, it's another one of those cult following things. Like, he's a pretty well-known director for that reason. So like, a lot of his movies definitely go under the radar, but the ones that hit definitely hit.
I did like the scene where you get introduced to the delinquent.
Yeah.
And I think one of the main first scenes is like they're trying to rob the guy who's asking for a blowjob. And then he goes to take the wallet and he drops the wallet and he's like, "Are you trying to rob me?" And they just kick the dog living shit out of him.
Yeah, I like I said, the actors in this were great. Everyone played their part perfectly. And they all played well off of each other as well. So that's always good to have on-screen chemistry with the people you're working with. So I like seeing it when the actors, like, they're probably having a good time with this, because they're probably not taking it that seriously. So that's what I like to see. I mean, I like to see good acting in shitty movies sometimes.
The blind priest, right? That's what he was, the priest.
Yeah, the older guy. Yeah, the older priest. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but
it's called Father.
I just watched a movie like the Velocipaster. I keep bringing it up, but there was a dying priest in that one. There was a priest in this one. He goes on a revenge mission. Like, it's kind of, they're very similar, minus the dad rape.
They just really wanted to sell that Father's Day title. You got a father as a priest, and you got actual fathers. getting it.
Well, one of my favorite scenes was and not because of any, just the context of it. When Walnut, Twink's friend, when he gets found out that he's a father, like like when he says that he got a chick pregnant or whatever, then the fucking murderer just comes right through the window and murders the shit out of him. That was hilarious. Like, that's so messed up, but it's so hilarious that he just knows. Like, something just goes off in his head where he's like, "Oh, he's a father now. Gotta murder him."
Yeah,
that was funny to me.
The light just turns off and everything. It's like, what the hell is the Undertaker coming out?
Ridiculous, but funny. I also like the fact that Ahab, when the priest goes to find him, is not living on a maple farm, but he's making maple syrup somehow, and no one knows how. And it comes into play at the end of the movie as well, which is even better. It's so good. Also, one of the best lines in the movie comes from when they have the syrup at the end. Twice.
Jake, we both kind of said it. Nick, you agree that you think it would be a lot more entertaining watching this with a new person almost every time. How did you come to watch it first, Jake? Did you just hear it by somebody else watching it? Did somebody recommend it, or how did you?
Someone. Well, technically, have you guys ever heard of Rooster Teeth, like the internet company? They do a lot of media, just stuff like that. Well, they do a show where they watch movies and react to movies, and that's how I discovered this. They called it Theater Mode, and they watched movies like just sitting on a couch in front of a green screen. They watched movies, and this was one of the first ones I saw. So I watched them watch it. So I guess I've seen it like 4 times. I've watched them watch it because they what they did was they bought the licenses to show it, pretty much. And so I watched them watch it, and seeing their reactions, I was like, I got to see this movie on my own. I got to see this on my own without anyone reacting to it. So then I immediately seeked it out and bought it on DVD. So that's how I came about it.
Nice. Nick, what about you, man? Was this the first time you watched it for the episode, or when he, referenced it back in the day? Did you watch it then?
No, I didn't. Not until last month when I ordered it, and I guess last weekend will be the first time I watched it. Probably gonna watch it again, but not alone, but it's with someone.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's kind of traumatizing alone, but like with people, you're like, you can be traumatized with me.
Yeah, for sure. I think I have a few people that I want to pick and put this in front of, so I think it would be, like I said, more entertaining to watch them go through the hell on earth.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, look at that. Yes, I know. It's crazy, right? I've seen this many times.
Jake, we'll start with you. Did you have any scenes that maybe you were like, you know what? Or did you have any pacing issues? Like, this hour, 39 minutes. Did you think
the beginning of the movie is slow? The beginning of the movie is slow, and you don't really understand that it's a comedy until they find Ahab, for the first time, when they make the syrup joke and all that. So, and that doesn't happen till quite a bit into the movie. So it's fine. It could have been 20 minutes shorter.
About 120, 115 maybe, yeah.
110, 115, yeah. That would have been the sweet spot. But I mostly once it kicks off, it really kicks off, in my opinion. So when they find Ahab, when they get him back, and when they when the whole team gets together, basically, is when it really kicks off. And from there, it's fine. But a little before that, getting them all, it's kind of like any movie, though. Really, that's how any movie is. The Avengers is slow till they all get together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's really how it always is. But not that this is the Avengers. But it's kind of slow till they all get together.
Greatest team up.
It might be.
Yeah, it was pretty slow. I mean, even though we started off with that scene with the fuckman, but
yeah, that definitely sets the tone.
It sets the tone, the dark tone.
Yeah,
like you said, you have to get I guess a little further in to realize, it says it's got humor in it. If you haven't watched the trailer,
that is not funny. The beginning is not funny. Unless you think him saying Happy Father's Day is funny, which, I mean, knowing the title of the movie, I guess you could. But other than that, not funny for a while.
Yeah. See what? It's like I'm trying to time jump some scenes here. I was just gonna mention that scene with the. I would assume it's one of Ahab's exes or just a girl he had a one night stand with. The
blonde stripper.
Yeah. The blonde stripper. She's over here like dying already. Just choking on her own blood. She's like, kiss me.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, and that's another. I mean, the whole movie's ridiculous.
He's like,
when something is ridiculous, is just a given.
He's like, there, I kissed you. No, you didn't. So,
yeah, it was good, and I mean, it's a character that you can kill off, and we'll be like, all right, whatever. Granted, they killed off all of them at the end, but whatever.
Was that stripper with the chainsaw?
Yeah, the chainsaw. I was glad that came into play because that gets established earlier on when she almost cuts him up, and then which is weird because it seemed like, well, she didn't know him at the beginning, so it's a bit of a continuity error. Like when she tells her to make out with him or whatever, like it's because she didn't know him at the very beginning of this, so I don't know where that came up. I don't know how that came up. But yeah, she gets murdered by her own chainsaw. Sad.
The friggin' dildo nunchucks.
That was funny. I mean, that was hilarious, and it's a shame that it didn't work. She tried. It
should have worked.
She put up a fight, but in the end, the chainsaw got the best of her.
Those nunchucks, I'm sure would have hurt. Would have left some bruises.
Put a chain in between those things. That's a weapon. That's a solid weapon.
It's a thick weapon. Girthy weapon.
Girthy.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Also, that scene with what do they call all the security guy? What, did he get shot or something like that?
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's just like an everyday thing. Like, oh, you got to tag me in. How'd you get past?
Yeah, just like, oh, your guy had an accident. Yeah, it's just a normal occurrence. Apparently, this door guy gets shot.
That's pretty nice.
This is skipping ahead. I don't know if you guys care, but this is skipping ahead. But after the scene, it's so stupid. After the scene where it's just the priest and Twink sitting there with Ahab facing the wall, trying to explain that he didn't sleep with his sister, is one of the best scenes in this whole movie, in my opinion. His sister was possessed, all right. It's still not okay, but yeah, that was another thing. She's possessed.
He had to push the demon out of her.
Try to pull up when he was drunk.
Still didn't work. But yeah, him explaining to the two guys what they were doing was hilarious to me. And they didn't believe him either, so it's even better. It's a good buddy comedy, you know?
Good guy, bad guy.
Well, this is a bad guy. And it turns out the bad guy that we know throughout the whole movie isn't really technically a bad guy. He's just possessed by the Fuckman demon. And,
which, isn't his fault.
No, it's not. Because then Chelsea gets possessed by the Fuckman demon as well, then goes and has sex with her brother. So, and he's cool with it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I just love him trying to justify it. Just like, you saw her. You guys would do it too.
She was possessed. She didn't know what she was doing. Leave her alone.
Oh, it's funny. And then at the end, when she's not possessed, they make out anyway. So whatever. And I love sleazy Mary being like, "You guys are siblings."
This is
Thanks for calling it out, Mary.
Instead of movie throwing incest around here, last movie we did was Sleepwalkers.
I haven't seen that one.
Well, that movie has some of that. It's a Stephen King film.
So it can't be that bad. It's pretty bad.
No, I mean,
if you like incest cats,
Jesus, good God.
Good God. But I was gonna show up. I mean, even though I show up the cover, but his sister's on the cover right there.
Yeah, Amy Groening. She was great. She was great in this whole thing. She hasn't really done. Most of these people haven't really done much else. But I feel like all of them could have done real movies. They all did pretty well.
Hey, yeah, could have been in the Avengers.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, she
Like,
could have been Black Widow.
They did a whole what? The recasting. He plays Nick Fury.
Who does?
Ahab.
Yes, I'd be down for it.
I was gonna say early on. Could you see I mean, it's technically a demon, but this is pretend it's the human portrayal of you. Would you say a character like in a Batman way? In the comics, I could probably see, but like in the live adaptation,
I don't know. I don't know.
What the hell is this?
I have no idea.
Instead of
I love that Lloyd Kaufman, he played God. For those who did not know, he played God and the devil.
Yeah,
because they are the same. Because competition is important, or the sense of competition is important.
Competition is good. It draws the best out of somebody.
I thought that was hilarious. And heaven is full of tits, which is awesome. That's what we learned, and we also learned that from South Park, the movie, as well. So if I go there, which I'm not going to, but hey, if I do, I'm expecting titties. Now, I mean, movies have ruined me.
Seem
or
pretty.
The Backstreet Boys. It's either got to be titties or the Backstreet Boys. So I'm going to be disappointed either way.
I feel like since this movie was like kind of shot on whatever location they did get to go onto, some of the wide shots of this movie of like them just running with the, whether it be like the countryside around them and beside them, like some pretty nice shots. If we're gonna like be honest with, like I won't throw complete like crap. This movie's got some limelight on it. Some of the wide shots. The cinematography, if you want to talk about a $10,000 budget, that's the way to do it. Some of it looked
all right.
Especially filming on location. I was looking for some trivia for this movie, and I don't know if it's just not out there, but there was absolutely nothing to like give somebody as far as like, hey, did you know that this happened?
I got one. But it's very me specific.
Before getting into that, okay. Before getting into that. Yeah, I'll let you say it whenever I press this button. All right, go for it. Film facts.
Oh, I was like, what changed? It's the bottom.
What changed?
So, like you said, there aren't a heck of a lot out there. I mean, what is there going to be? But this movie first released in Japan. I don't know why, but it released in Japan first on my birthday, January 11th. I don't know why. It released like 7 days later on January 18th in the States. But it was in Japan first. I have no idea why.
Did this, I wonder, or maybe Jake, since you know a little bit more about it, do you know if this got any kind of a theatrical release, or was it straight to video?
Film festivals.
Film festivals?
Yeah, no theatrical, but it was in a couple film festivals.
Sundance? No way.
No.
Kings.
It was in there was one in Houston. Like I think it was one in Houston. There was it debuted in the States at a film festival, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. I was actually looking at the dates earlier, and I just was like, "Oh, it's my birthday, cool." So that's what stood out.
That was your fun fact of the day. I
wonder if could you imagine? This reminded me when I saw the movie came in. Nick, you had shown me the poster of it, but this movie came in the mail, and I opened it up, and I just see I still think, I mean, we've talked about it already, but I think the cover and the actual like physical media of this movie is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think the poster is phenomenal. So when I opened it up, I automatically thought of, could you imagine somebody going through a Blockbuster back in the day? Maybe I think they were still open 2011, but picking it up and just saying, "Hey, this is a blind watch," and then taking it home and just not knowing what to expect. That I really appreciated the look of this movie.
Absolutely, it jumps. Like that's the thing. Yeah. It jumps off the like. Say this was like the 90s or whatever. If that art was on like a VHS, then that would be you would gravitate towards it. I would. So it's just it pops for sure. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I was like, man, that would be so awesome. I mean, I got to experience it today, but I was like, just on a Friday night, nothing to do at a Blockbuster, picking it up and just not knowing anything. I was like, man, it just popped at me. And yeah, you said it right.
It's just, you go and pick it up. You're like, wow, this will be great for Father's Day. Us and the family, we should watch it. And then you do, and then you regret it. That's what you get for not looking at ratings, parents.
What about you guys? Do you guys do a lot of blind buys, whether it be online or whether you still go to a physical media store, and you're just like, I don't have that. The cover looks interesting. I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to buy it.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I go to Bull Moose. I used to go a lot more than I do now, just because it's a bit of a drive for me. But when I do go, I try to pick a couple things up or whatever. Like that Banana Splits movie. I've never seen that. I've really never heard of it even. I knew it existed, but that was it. And it's literally the cover is just the banana splits, and one of them's holding an axe, and they're holding the guy hostage. I was like, oh, okay, that's different. So I was in on that. But yeah, I buy like random horror movies all the time and haven't seen to this day most of them.
Yeah,
I do that with video games too, a lot.
Yeah,
for me as of lately, most of them are like blind buys. Usually some movies that are either for a review coming up, that'd be for that reason, or just movies that I missed in my childhood. Like I wasn't a person that went to the movies a whole lot. I think I see every horror movie. So like in the early 2000s, there's like movies I pick out like, I'm so interested in seeing this movie. So as a way, I've just been building up that era of movies.
I'd have a suggestion for a movie, but it's got a controversial person in it now.
Uh-oh.
So there was a movie I saw, funny enough, I think this was also 2000, it was either 2010, 2011, around there. It was called The Stepfather, but I feel like that would be perfect for this show because it was a weird horror movie, not like this kind of weird. It was like a normally produced horror movie that was in theaters and shit. But like it was just odd. It wasn't very good, but like it's worth watching once. And the people that started it were Amber Heard, now a controversial human being. And have you guys ever seen or heard of the show You on Netflix?
Yeah.
The main guy from that. Those are the two stars of that movie. And I didn't know, because I saw that movie in theaters, but I didn't know until this whole like Amber Heard trial thing. I didn't know she was in that. Like I didn't even put that together. And I had seen it in theaters. But that's another one. I feel like that's a movie no one's heard about that would do well for this show.
There's a lot of
recent events.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of movies that she's in, honestly, from like the early mid 2000s, like 05 to 010 or 2010. You know, like she's in a John Carpenter movie called The Ward, and she's and I'm like, again, that's a whole nother story for a different
situation. She's in Zombieland as well.
Yeah, and I'm like, she's at least in The Ward. I haven't seen Stepfather, but I mean, she held her own. I think she's a pretty good horror actress. Now we're gonna get some people disliking this episode.
Well, she's probably better at that because, in my opinion, most horror doesn't take great acting skills.
Right. I'm talking more of like the facial expression, screams.
Well, she's good at that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Stepfather has been on a radar of like just a purchase of mine for a while, just because of the show You.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I've never seen it, so I might have to check that out.
It's worth a watch. I haven't seen it again. I remember I do kind of want to again, just because I don't remember those two being in it at all. So I clearly don't remember the movie at all, other than the general premise of it. But I think I own it. Like I think I have it. So that might be one I watch again, just to update myself and be like, oh, well, it's not that bad. But I don't. From what I remember, it wasn't that good either. But I like the premise. Next guest appearance. Maybe. It's but I know less about that movie. All I know about that movie is I saw it once, and now I know that Amber Heard and the guy from You are in it.
I mean, that's how the show works most of the time. We try to pick out movies we either haven't seen or we at least seen once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, underrated.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to talk about things you've seen a lot. It's hard to go in blind and just be kind of like, I mean, it can be interesting to do it that way, but if you've seen a movie 100 times, you're gonna know way more about it than if you've seen Father's Day once, you know?
For sure. Yep.
Kind of drawing a blank right now. After all that, Amber Heard and
I know, I threw it off.
No, then again, me just jumping ahead of the movie, so I kind of lost the tracking of where we're at in the movie.
Oh, we were
just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Things out there.
I'm just gonna throw a random scene. When the priest, the old guy, he gets sacked by a fuckman, and you see his head in the box.
Yeah, nice
being
little
delivered.
Callback to 7. Probably, I guess. I don't know. Probably. But yeah, no, there's a lot of scenes in this movie that are just ridiculous. Like, and there's a lot of with any of these shitty horror movies, like some of the cuts are just weird, and I'm like, that was a weird place to cut. Like, that was odd.
It did feel real choppy.
It did.
The whole movie.
But that's the thing. Even in some of the the good horror movies that people would consider good, the older ones, that happens. Like that's a real thing that does happen in these older horror movies anyway. So I think they nailed what they were going for, trying to be an old school like TV horror.
And yeah, I agree with you. I think most of the cheesiness, bad acting, horrible cutscenes, the choppiness feeling. I'm sitting here thinking now, like, I think we got spoofed. I think 98% of the movie, they meant to do everything that they did.
Oh, yeah.
Like, without a doubt. So,
absolutely.
That's what makes this movie, to me at least, go from a decent watch to like, oh, I don't know if I'd ever watch it again, because you appreciate what they meant for you to watch.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate it, because like it's a bad movie that knows it's bad. If you're self-aware, it obviously on a higher scale, it's like Deadpool. Like Deadpool's super meta. So like if you're watching a movie that knows it's what it is and knows it's going to be meta going into it, then you're like, well, this is pretty good because it's supposed to be shitty, and it is. So they did it. Like they did what they were trying to do.
What about you, Nick? Do you feel like it was memorable for you though? Like, would you just go like, most of the scenes like, yeah, that was pretty memorable, or were you kind of just like standoffish?
I
don't think you'll ever forget it.
Just the characters. There's some, like I said, there's some cool moments also, but I was gonna say, we probably mentioned a little bit earlier on the stream, but as far as the advertising for like it tries to play off, it's one of those late movies, like, and just seeing the other two movies being advertised, I was like, oh, I wonder if they actually did those movies, like they have their own physical copies already.
Not that I know of, but I wouldn't put it past them.
It's like it'd be an interesting idea. It's like, ooh,
like, yeah, there was like Space Ranger or something, and then Sexy Beach.
Something like that. Yeah, I was like, you're currently watching Father's Day. Up next, the spacing. They even show like a whole little thing of that little trailer of the space thing.
Yeah,
and
I love that. I love that.
They show it like it's kind of like a Star Trek or like, I guess, type of thing.
It's supposed to be like a parody of Star Wars, which they probably didn't make it because they would have gotten sued. Granted, Spaceballs was a thing, but they had permission to do that. So
yeah,
kind of. They just can't make merchandise, which makes me sad.
But yeah, the character is floating up in space and then just dies.
Yeah, that was the movie. We already know how it ends.
Like how it
same deal with Sexy Beach. They were like, "Oh, tune in for Sexy Beach at 6." Which 6 is kind of pushing it. That's kind of pushing it for that movie. I don't know if you can play that at 6. It's kind of early. Kind of late for the early movies. But I'd watch it.
It's like, man. Did you know? I was gonna say, has anyone ever done that? I mean, I know it's kind of a thing that just like late movies. Does anyone like stay up super late? I mean, I know watch TV is not even a thing anymore, like it used to be. But at times,
it was more. For me, it was more infomercials. Like that was what I always used to see.
The commercial advertisements.
Yeah. Like I would always wake up at like because I used to. I don't do it anymore. But like when I was younger, I would sleep with a TV on or something, and so like I would always wake up and it'd either be like Girls Gone Wild or like the Slap Shop. I'm like, these are two very different things. It depends on the channel I was watching when I fell asleep. If it's the Food Network, it's a blender. If it's Cartoon Network, it's tits.
Well, I mean, for me, like, I didn't, my first probably 15 years of life, I didn't have cable. So like, if I stayed up late on a Friday night, I knew, hey, if I stay up past midnight, it's Girls Gone Wild. Yes. Or if it's Tuesday and I know I'm staying home from school the next day, it's Sham Wow, it's stuff like that. So you're like, but yeah, Nick, I mean, I didn't stay up late to watch certain movies, but because of just, I guess, the way the TV channels were. But I did know, like, hey, I'm going to stay up late until everybody falls asleep. And then Terminator 2 is getting put in the VHS tape, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just always either always infomercials or like DVD menus. Like, because like sometimes I would fall asleep watching like Simpsons DVDs or whatever, and then I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I just hear Simpsons music rattling around in my head, and I'm like, "What the hell is going?" Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. I'm thinking about like late stuff, like Adult Swim. Yep. I mean, even though it starts kind of early, it would start pretty early. But that how you mentioned like disc menus, I was always with like horror movies like that. I like waking up just seeing that, or even like if it like if I fall asleep pretty early and during the movie and the movies are still playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh man.
Well, see, then you had like in the later 2000s, you had when I finally did get cable, it's like, oh, the family stayed up to watch iRobot on HBO at 8 p.m. And then the parents better hurry up and turn that off when the movie's over because Taxi Cab Confessions came on at 10:05, and then it got really awkward. So if you're talking about stuff like that, yeah. I mean, sometimes
I don't remember having HBO as a younger person. That was an older discovery for me. But I don't. And then it was like I don't even remember where it was on, but I remember being like pretty young when we first got like those kind of channels or whatever. And I just stumbled upon what I thought was just a pirate movie. It wasn't. I learned a lot of things that day.
Real Sex in the Caribbean.
I learned a lot of things that day. It was a pirate porn. I was like, whoa, cool. I'm cool with this. I'm a growing boy. I don't remember what it was called, but I haven't seen it since, but I've seen like pictures of it or whatever. Like if people making a meme about it or whatever, and I'm like, oh my God, that's it.
Pirates booty, not bad.
It was like softcore porn. Like it wasn't anything crazy, but I was like, yay, titties.
Pirates of the Caribbean and the dead woman's chest.
Oh boy.
There was a Jack Sparrow type in there. That would have been hilarious. But no, it was bad. Like the acting in that was bad. You were talking about bad softcore porn acting. It was hooey. It was. I remember that being real terrible. I want to find it again just to be like, man, what did I watch when I was in 5th grade?
Oh boy.
How I've upgraded.
I mean, at least there wasn't one of those movies where they spoof off of porn. Say what? I'm gonna watch some watch a superhero movie. It's not even superhero movie. It's just porno.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movies like that now.
Yeah.
And then there's HBO where there's just a ton of shit like that, like Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones. I'm excited for them sequels or prequels. It's gonna be good. Not that this is a Game of Thrones podcast. However, I'd do a Game of Thrones podcast. Just like rewatch the whole thing. I'd do that. I don't have the time or patience. But it's a good idea up here.
Game of Thrones. I know it's kind of going way off topic again. But since you brought Game of Thrones, I mean, you recently, one of your recent videos was how you got your grill piece of, for those who don't know me, the name of his Funko Fat guy, he collects Pops or some other Funko lines, right?
Oh, yeah, mostly just Pops. I used to collect some of the other ones, but I don't have any room and don't want to anymore. But yeah, this is the most expensive Pop I own, and it is the most expensive Pop I've ever purchased with my money. But it'll never leave. I finally have it. I've hit the peak. That's my collecting peak right there. Now I just need the original Simpsons set, and I'll be feeling good.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what I do. For those who couldn't figure that one out.
What is he? Does he collect movies too? He collects movies or just
yeah.
He's not that channel.
I do. I collect everything. If you can't tell by my background, I collect everything. But yeah, movies, games, Pops are the biggest one, obviously. Golden Girls cereal, clearly.
Nice.
Big Betty White guy. R.I.P. Never forget.
The GOAT.
Oh, she was great. Still a legend. I have stickers somewhere.
What was that movie she was in? What was that?
She was in the
Lake
Proposal.
Placid?
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid.
This is my
sticker.
Girl. Yeah, those are my stickers.
Nice.
Yeah, she was in Lake Placid. She was in The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds. She's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, Golden Girls, come on, that's the best. But yeah, no, she's been in a ton of stuff. She's been around forever, for literally ever.
Nice. Ryan Reynolds, I mean, talking about Deadpool, and the movie with Ryan Reynolds. Next movie we're reviewing is Amityville Horror.
I want to see Ryan Reynolds in a horror movie. I think that'd be fascinating.
It was that movie, I think it was 2005, right?
He was in Buried.
He was in horror?
Where he's like trapped in a wooden box the entire movie.
Oh God, that sounds like a nightmare.
It's just him and the camera in a box in the whole movie, and that's
really that sounds awful. But it also sounds like a literal nightmare.
Yeah,
that would give me claustrophobia.
Yeah, I heard about that one, but no, I was one I was talking about was the Amityville Horror movie. I think it was like just a remake, but Ryan Reynolds so happens to be in it.
You're right. I've even seen that movie. You're correct. Well, I completely forgot about that. He doesn't translate to a horror actor. I love Ryan Reynolds, but stick to what you know.
Yeah, he's getting more typecasted now than anything.
Oh, definitely, and I think that's the right move because like I said, I like Ryan Reynolds, but like keep him in a comedy role. Like we tried Green Lantern, he tried to be a superhero, didn't work. Deadpool is where it's at. Keep it that way.
Blade Trinity.
Man, Green Lantern that's a horror movie in itself. Just because it was awful. It horrified me. I would love a good Green Lantern movie. Do you know how bad I want a good Green Lantern movie? Oh, that'd be fantastic. A good Green Lantern.
Snyderverse.
Yeah. You have to watch the extended version.
No. I haven't yet because I don't have that kind of time. The Joker's in it too.
Yeah, Jared Leto.
It was the only time the character was good in that movie or in that universe.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was a nightmare. Jared Leto, Joker, yuck. Ugh.
The movie Father's Day, right? Go tune back and say, huh?
This podcast was about the movie Father's
Day.
Yeah,
right here. This
movie. That's the fun about when you have special guests on. The subject matter is Father's Day, but you always have to kind of get
fill it in.
A little more fill in the blanks when you have a special guest on.
I've never gone on any show, and not talked about things I'm not supposed to. Like, it never happened because, like, in the Funko community, like, we do a lot of live streams and stuff, so I'm on people's stuff all the time. They bring me on to talk about certain things, and I'm just like, yeah, how about this or whatever. I just always go off the rails, so I apologize for nothing.
No, as long as people that are watching or listening understand that the movie Father's Day is the subject matter, and that's what we're trying to get you to watch.
We talked about it.
Yeah, I think we've done our job.
That's how you send it. He's like, oh, well, how's the ending go? Nope.
I mean, maybe now people will take you serious. Syrupsly? How do they even say it? Syrupsly?
I don't know about you guys, but I got elf vibes when they brought up maple syrup. I was like, Buddy the Elf puts maple syrup on everything.
And we still don't know where the syrup actually came from. No, he can't make syrup out of the trees because they weren't maple trees.
Sorry, not maple trees.
But I just love how it comes up at the end, and that's what defeats the Fuckman demon.
It was a holy man-made syrup, I think.
Yeah, it was. I mean, all crystallized and great. You never call a man a tree.
There you go.
What a movie.
Release the demons.
It was just I'm glad more people have seen it. It's one of those movies where I'm like, yes, I'm glad more people have been exposed, and I will continue to spread the word of Father's Day.
Hey, there you go.
Spread the good news.
Spread the cult-like following.
Spread the gospel of Father's Day.
The gospel. Oh boy. There's that scene I enjoyed where actually I had Ahab. He when he chases down the human form of Fuckman, and then because they said they're gonna him and what was his name?
Which one?
Not the priest, but the
Tweak,
yeah, because they're gonna get them together, but then Ahab just went out there and straight up got him himself.
He just destroyed him, threw him off the dam. And I love that scene too when he's just celebrating. He's like, "Holy shit! Did you guys see that?" Yeah, we saw it.
And it's just like you can tell it's like a freaking dummy doll.
Oh yeah,
just throwing it there. Just the way he throws it off.
But yeah, just him celebrating the adrenaline and everything was hilarious. That's one of the best scenes in the whole movie. And then he's like, "Let's go finish him off," and then he just storms off. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Finish while he's ready for
it. He's dead. It's like that Simpsons meme. Stop! He's already dead.
He's already dead. Now, seeing that scene, because this is before they find out it was just the demon possessing him, right?
Yes.
No.
Then they find out after that because the priest has to go into like the solitary confinement room or whatever to find his faith again. And then he finds like the Necronomicon, basically. He calls it a tome. And finds out that the Fuckman demon just kind of possesses people and they're trying to summon Fuckmanicus. This is a real movie, everybody.
Fuckmanicus.
All hail Fuckmanicus.
It was unbelievable watching it on TV, but I think it's even more unbelievable watching you and listening to you guys talk about it.
It is because
like these words that are coming out of our mouths. It's like,
it sounds real. Like if you go to someone, and you're like, "Oh yeah, it's a movie about Fuckman demon, and they're trying to summon Fuckmanicus or whatever." You're like, "What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Are you on drugs again? Like, stop it."
You know what would be fun is if this movie was like a graphic novel.
Oh Jesus!
And there was like just whether it was like in form of graphic novel or if they just, you know how some movies become so popular they turn the movie into the actual graphic novel. Like I'm like that would be pretty entertaining. I think to see
it would be something
to see the illustration of these scenes on paper.
It would be interesting, yeah, for sure. Some of them I don't want to see on paper, but it would be something.
Would you purchase it?
I'm not a book man, so maybe
you're a fuck man.
I'm a fuckman, yeah. I'm the Fuckman demon. But I don't rape cats, so. But I mean, hey, I'm still early in life. Who knows where life can take me? No, probably not. But I have the movie. That's enough. I'm a visual learner, you know.
Halloween costume ideas.
Oh, jeez, yeah, I could be Ahab. I'll just get that sweet coat that he's wearing all the time that he loses at the end. Just get an iPad. My hair's already like wild. I could make it wild. So like I could be him. Yeah. Maybe I'll be Ahab for Halloween. No one will know. Like, who the hell are you? I'm Ahab from Father's Day. They're like, what the fuck is Father's Day?
Then that's how you get more people to watch it. It would be interesting. Maybe we can get a goal of trying to get this movie to trend on Father's Day.
On Father's Day, it's a yearly tradition.
It might already, honestly.
It's let's see.
But what would you say is next, Nick? Would you?
What's next?
Yeah.
I think we can talk about another scene, or because I don't know. There's probably a lot of scenes we need to get through, but we're just kind of
hit
over the major ones. But yeah, we're just gonna kind of go into it towards the ending part. Let's see, how's it go again? God damn it. When they're already before going into hell, or I mean, at least one of them gets to go to heaven for a little bit, but yeah, whenever how they decide to they kill themselves with a gun. They shoot themselves.
Yeah, that was funny when they're rock paper scissoring to
rock paper scissors.
Try and find out who loses. One of my favorite jokes in the whole movie is, "All right, so 8 out of 10, right?" Like when they're like trying to figure out who's gonna do it, and then you just see Twink pop up in hell, and he's like, "I lost," and Ahab just knows what he's talking about for some reason. It made me laugh. Yeah. Also, really shitty green screen in that scene too.
Yeah,
but that's the charm of it.
I didn't see. Maybe I have to go back and look on the audio. But is there commentary on this movie?
I didn't see. It might be in the special features. But
man, that would be interesting.
It would be interesting. We'd get a little take into Troma's mind there, or Lloyd Kaufman's mind.
That might even be worth. Yeah, that I think that itself would be worth
the price of admission right there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's interesting because I know we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, I don't think it says on the back what the features are. But yeah, like I said, if you go into like a DVD menu, there's a pop-up menu. I triggered it on my Xbox, so I don't know how it would happen like on a TV or a Blu-ray player or anything. I just pressed the B button on my Xbox and it popped up. So, I pressed the start button. So it was like just another like pop-up menu. I don't know how that would.
Yeah, even put together nice. Like you even get the inside of the sister.
The inside art, yeah. I love that. Like, I love when like even video games. I love when video games put art on the inside and stuff like that too.
It's the little things that count when it
comes exactly. I wonder if the cover's reversible. I don't think it is.
Negative.
Nah, it's just art.
And that's, I mean, you said it to explain somebody to this movie. I mean, art is subjective. This movie's art.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I can't wait to show somebody.
Art is definitely subjective. But everything is art if you really think about it. Whether it's good art or not, and whether people think it's good art or not is a whole different thing. But every type of media is art. Like video games are art. Art is art. Music is art. Movies are art. Everything's art. Any kind of media is so. But some art is better than others.
Yes, that's the one thing I can take away from this live stream: art.
Art. You're watching art. I mean, this live stream is art in a way.
That's what I had vision.
It's true,
man. Yeah. So they're in hell, and it's like all at one point. Ahab and Tweak. They're like in a snowy area, I believe.
Mm-hmm, when hell freezes over.
Hell freezes over.
and from what I took away from that scene is they're not there at all. They've just been in like these pits this whole time, like where they're kind of being pulled down or whatever, and they're just kind of hallucinating the whole time until they get out of there. And then Tweak gets swallowed up by one, and then you see him at the very end when they defeat Fuck Manicus. And also the jacket, another good one, another good joke, another good stupid joke. Yeah, Twink is there, and then the jacket.
Yeah, jacket.
Like, oh god damn it, my keys are in that jacket. Just a stupid throwaway joke, but it made me laugh.
So, Jake, before we kind of get towards a little bit more of the ending or the next segment, I'm kind of big on like surrounding the movie of a MacGuffin. What would you say the MacGuffin is in this movie? would it be the actual Fuckman demon?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, fuck Manicus, yeah.
Okay.
Because, like, he's like, I guess it could be both. Because at the end, they basically find fuck Manicus, which is a giant fuckman demon. But that's not the one that they're going for, I think, because, I don't know, it's a whole weird thing. Yeah, so probably, it'd be the demon. Yeah, because that's kind of the whole main bad guy, but we don't really even know that yet.
Right.
Like,
that's just one of my...
The first, like, half of the movie, actually, for most of the movie, we don't know that, so...
That's one of my big. No matter what movie I watch, whether it's for the 100th time or the first time, I'm always like, let me see if I can just point out or try to find the MacGuffin. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know what? I puzzled with it for most of the movie, but when I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, I think it's probably the demon. If I had to pick.
Yeah, that would make sense. It makes the most sense, at least. I mean, most of the movie doesn't make sense, period. But yeah, I suppose that would make the most sense.
And at some point, I know this is probably thinking outside the box, but if I couldn't pick the demon, I was almost like, is it the maple syrup? Because at some points, it's, kind of not explained, but the plot is a little bit driven towards the maple syrup, but it's also like a mystery. But I guess, it still leads towards the demon.
It is brought up a lot.
Yeah.
And it's used to defeat the demon. So that's a good argument. Yeah. Because, I mean, there's no reason it should have been used to defeat the demon. There's no reason at all. It was never explained. But it was brought up a few times. So maybe. It was funny. I mean, I think it was just because of comedy purposes. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, maybe. Just one last syrup joke.
Thinking outside the box a little bit.
Syrup sleeve. But yeah, the Trauma, they have a whole like online store. So like I don't know what you can buy at this point, but you probably maybe this was there. It probably was. But yeah, you can buy just all their movies. Like the guy Lloyd Kaufman who did this one. You can buy all his movies on their store.
Nice. I'd like to see if they have any like memorabilia from the movie, like shirts, hats.
They did. They had stuff like they had like not like shirts or anything, but they had like signed copies and stuff. Oh, and nice. I regret not getting like a poster or a DVD copy or whatever signed. But they used to. I don't think they do anymore. I actually looked earlier. I didn't see anything. But that doesn't mean it's not out there somewhere. But yeah, I wish I picked up a signed one.
Yeah, so whenever they kill off the fuck Manicus?
Fuck Manicus was the big Manicus. Yeah.
The final boss level.
The big one in hell.
In hell, yeah. With the syrup and everything. I like how attached was his Ahab's sister. And she's like kind of like goes like a Leia.
Yeah. Yeah, this took a lot of things from other movies like The Head in the Box and like Leia and obviously the Space Rangers or whatever. That whole thing was Star Wars. So yeah, there was a lot, which you got to do in a movie like this, just to keep people like on their toes.
Yeah, we close it off with the they destroy the monster and like I mean he shrinks down and then like how my sister's like I believe she's just stomping on him.
Yep,
like it's like a little
just stomping on him like crazy.
And then that kiss happens at her.
Yeah. Like, the one that shouldn't. Like the other one, all right, I give a pass because she was possessed or whatever, but he didn't stop it either. But the second one, that was on their own volition, so that one's on them. And then at the pretty much the very end, they're like, "Oh, how do we get back?" So Ahab shoots himself again, and he's just like drooling blood, basically. Doesn't work. And then the priest tries to hope them back, and it just cuts back to their corpses covered in flies being eaten by cats. And then roll credits. It's over.
And yeah, actually,
there was actually an orchestra for this movie. I don't know if you guys knew this. But if you watch the credits, it's the Grand Fuckmanicus Orchestra.
I saw the different little titles for the songs.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of titles. There's a lot of song titles too.
It's like what is that?
The one at the end is probably my favorite. There was a lot of good music. There was a lot of good music in this movie.
Trying to like remember the actual tone of the music, because I know hearing one of them, there's like, oh, it was very John Carpenter vibes.
There was a lot of like heavy rock, like it was a lot of heavy rock vibes in a lot of them, which made sense to me. I mean, it's like kind of action. There's action points, like action movie points, so like it made sense. I like it. I like the soundtrack a lot.
Yeah, it definitely had like 3 different soundtracks in one. You could like, oh, so sometimes it sounded like an action movie, a horror movie, and then some of the cheesy mannerisms at the end was like, oh, is this a comedy soundtrack? But
it's kind of everything.
Yeah, it was good.
It was
now
nice
that's something I'd want to find. If I could find the soundtrack to this, I'd be happy. But that's not something I can find.
Soundtrack, have it on vinyl.
Oh, it'd be even better.
But yeah, I mean, that was essentially the only way to me. It was like I said, their whole statements. I mean, it's a good movie. And then as far as the favorite scenes, I mean, I would just say where Ahab chases down the human form of the defuckman human form. Just that scene was pretty cool, and then how the movie just ends, like it's like it's funny, but it's somehow like it's just creepy because like it's realistic. Like you ain't gonna just magically come back and you see the realization of like their bodies.
You're not coming back from that.
Just that shot, and then
no matter how much you hope.
It's like we're gonna come back with hope, but man, it's like man.
But I mean, it just adds on to the ridiculousness of the movie that they thought that they could, and the whole time they thought that they could. Like they never had a doubt that they'd be able to come back from this for some reason. Even though Twink was like, yeah, I was gonna kill myself anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. I mean, of course, when they go to hell, yeah, he's dead already. But I wasn't expecting to go that far. Like, oh, they're gonna kill themselves.
And we don't know what happens. We're never told what happens with the sister either, because she's alive. So all we hear from the priest is get an abortion.
Get an abortion. Yeah,
kind of left that part open.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe they'll ever make another one. They do have a movie called Mother's Day, but I don't think it has anything to do with this. I have not looked into it. I will. But I'm not. I don't believe it has anything to do with it. I could be totally wrong though.
It'll just be around her.
That would be great. If there was a sequel to Father's Day, that would be great.
I was trying to think about that. That kind of leads into one of the segments on this show. I like to call "To Be Continued," but spelled out to like "To Be," the app "To Be." You watch free movies with ads.
Not a sequel. Not a sequel.
Nope, not a sequel.
Way bigger budget though, $115,000. That's a huge budget for a trauma.
If I had to pick on To Be Continued, I would say no.
No.
I think it ended just. I think the ending was justice. I think it was exactly what it was meant to be, meant to do. I think it would just lead into, like, this one knew it was going to be played off as bad. I think if they ever did a sequel, maybe it would just be like, okay, you had gold with this one. Now the next one would just be
going to the well too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think they need a sequel or anything. I do want to know what happened to the sister and everything, but without the cast of characters that this movie built up, I don't think it would be anything great. Just because the 3 main characters aren't in it. Like, they're dead. So, like, there's nothing you can do about that. Unless the movie is somehow trying to get them out of hell, then maybe. Like, that would be the only way that this would work. And then somehow they do. I don't know. But that'd be the only way it works. And I don't think they could realistic out the window. Who cares? I don't think they could find a way to make it as good as this one, because like you said, it was gold. And if you do it too much, if you keep doing this too much, then it gets oversaturated and it just wouldn't be the same.
What about you, Nick?
Father's Day Resurrection.
Oh.
I mean, it could happen. They're making a Toxic Avenger 2, and Toxic Avenger is like one of Troma's biggest movies, so it can happen. I'll wait for the Kickstarter.
I mean, it's not really one of those like I hope they make it, but it's like one of those if they make it, I'm down to watch it, of course.
Oh, I'll watch it. Yeah, if they make it, I'll
most
watch
definitely.
It for sure.
Yeah, to be continued, or like this little segment started as what would you do, like make a movie, a sequel out of it, or like a comic out of it? I think that was kind of mentioned earlier by Juan, like if you would concede on a comic.
Could do well as a graphic novel type deal. I feel like you could tell a lot more that way, and it costs less.
And you wouldn't have to bring it. You could be like, oh, we don't have those extra, those actors, so we can just,
yeah, that would work. I don't think that'll happen either, but you know what? Give me a 10-piece miniseries, like a 10-episode miniseries on HBO or something.
HBO
give
Max.
me that. Yeah. Give me that. I'll be happy. Give it to me on Disney Plus.
Disney. Oh, I'm gonna give it to you. All right.
On Disney Plus. I know they own everything, but I don't think they own this yet.
Ahab Sisters, the Disney persons now.
All
right. Juan, do you have the trailer on the side? Do you have that?
I do have it on the side.
You gonna whip it out?
Nice.
Yeah. So the next movie that we will talk about on this YouTube exclusive on UHD is going to be June 22nd, and I have the distinct honor of choosing Saint Maud. 2019 horror film, A24, creepy movie. Nick, I don't know if you've seen it yet.
No, I've not seen it. It's been in my driving my car for a long while, but now it's time. It's time to pull the trigger, I guess.
It's been one of those movies where I watched it once and I just felt like it is a little eerie and a little. It's definitely kind of a slow, methodical build, but I think this will be my second time watching it. And I think it would be fun to talk to you about it. You love kind of like possession-like films, so and I'm a whore for A24 movies, so I think it would make for a pretty fun conversation. Hopefully, in 2 weeks, June 22nd.
A24. Speaking of A24, how was that movie? You went to go see it, right? The one's called Men.
I did not go see it yet.
No?
That one looked good.
Well,
that one looked interesting.
The last one I seen was, of course, you probably already know which one, but that's not it. Where is it at? It's about to show you Sleepwalkers. No, no, X. Yeah,
X is a good one.
X is gonna give it to you.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. Saint Maud, 2 weeks from today, June 22nd. But next Thursday, next Wednesday is on Friday the 14th is ABCs of Death.
Oh man, and that was a movie that
I love ABCs of Death.
That was a movie you talked about on our other stream.
Yeah, see that? There you go.
There it is. Hold up.
Huh? I just found my copy of it downstairs.
Did you order it, Nick, or did you find it somewhere?
No, I had to order online. But not only did I pick up that one, of course. I did pick up that sequel.
Good, that one sucked. ABC Death 1, great. ABC Death 2, not great.
Even though it's not great, it's kind of one of those like, oh, well, I need a collection.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I did. I did the same thing.
I bought 2 whenever it came out, and I still have never watched it. It's actually still sealed.
It's
not good comparatively, at least. Have you guys seen? Here's another one that I don't know if you'll be even able to find it physically. I don't even have it physically, but I haven't really looked. It's called Holidays. I think it was a Netflix movie, so it might still be on there. But it's called Holidays, and that's another one that you guys should feature on this program because
holidays.
It's kind of like a collection film, kind of like ABC's of Death, where it's like multiple stories being told about every holiday. It's got Seth Green in it.
I like anthologies except for Nightmare Cinema.
Yeah, it's like a collection type movie, like ABC's of Death, where it's just like different segments for kind of everything, every letter in that case, but every holiday in this case, and it is twisted. It is pretty fucked up. I enjoyed it. It is not good. It is another one of those ones that's not very good. But that one I don't think tried to be bad, so it wasn't as good. But it was still I liked it because I like movies like that. I like movies like that where like there's different stories being told. Like Trick or Treat is one of the best examples of that. Trick or Treat is a phenomenal movie. Tells a few different stories, and my God, I love that movie.
That's a movie that probably we're gonna have to do on UHD because like on the main show Friday the 14th, well, I say that was the cast before me that reviewed it.
Oh,
but yeah.
Oh, what a movie!
Down to revisit.
I gotta watch it again. That movie's phenomenal. I have the pop somewhere, but it's like very buried.
Yeah, the NECA figures of them, the Ultimate one and the cloth.
It's cool. It's a nice design. I mean, even the pop, like the pop is older. I think it's like 2013, so it looks like one of the older ones, like super generic. But they've made new ones that are phenomenal too for Sam. And that's really the only character you need to make from that. But they've made so many at this point. They've made like 4 now, and I'm like, come on, how many can you make of this one kid?
More.
I'll buy him.
He's part of the Sackhead Club. It's him, Jason from Friday 13th Part 2.
Here's my latest horror autograph.
Tobin Bell.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Do you want to play a game? This was like a grail for sure. I mean, the pop already is like $100 pop. But I was lucky I had one and I was able to send the box in to get signed by him. But this was a must-have for sure. Because I mean, Saw is one of my all-time favorite franchises too. Just it's not like, again, they're not very good, but like they are what they are, and they're just fun. Like they're just fun to watch. Mostly the first 3. The after that was like But I like them. I've seen them all. I like them for what they are. But the first 3 were definitely peak Saw performance.
Yeah. You said the next review was St. Maud, and our main show would be ABC's Death. It's kind of I don't really do it so much often, but this is kind of an open invite to you, I guess. I mean, if you want to jump on,
I will let you know. ABC's Death is a heck of a movie, so you never know. You never know when I'll show
Wednesday.
up. If you do holidays, how about this? If you do holidays, I'll come back for holidays.
There we go.
There you go.
We'll have to find it.
Good luck. I don't even know if it's on Netflix anymore, but I haven't looked because I saw it once and I was like, I'm done with that. And there's also #horror. That one's a piece of shit. That one made me sad.
I don't think I think I've seen like maybe the beginning, and I never got to it.
Horror?
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I was like, oh.
It's a movie based around like social media that kills people, basically.
I've seen a few movies that involve like
Holidays is no longer on Netflix.
Oh no! Okay, you might not be able to find that one. I don't think it's a DVD. I don't think you'll find a DVD either.
You said it's a Netflix original.
I don't remember. I saw it on Netflix. I don't remember where it came from or anything. I just saw it on Netflix, and that's the only place I've ever seen it. So that one might be tough.
If this is it says you can get the DVD for $11.
I don't even know.
If that's it.
I don't even know. I wouldn't even know what to look for.
From 2006. Yeah, that's it. Seth Green.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Seth Green.
Yeah, Seth Green's it. Seth Green, and then the Harley from Epic Mealtime. You guys remember Epic Mealtime? Back in the day? Well, yeah, the main guy from that is on there too. And his is one of the more fucked up scenes, or his is more one of the fucked up holidays too.
Holidays.
Yeah, that's one I don't even own. Yet.
Holidays. Let's see. That's only on DVD, is there, or have
yeah? Some of those, like with Thanksgiving, you can't find Thanksgiving on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Most of my collecting is like Blu-ray, 4Ks. DVDs only if that movie came on DVD. I had no choice to grab it. Like Fear.com, I got, but it was like they only released that movie on DVD.
Sometimes you gotta do it.
But as far as following us on I guess Instagram and stuff, whatnot, you can follow us at Friday 14 Podcast UHD. You can follow my personal page at D4K Bad Guy. You can follow Juan.
You can follow me and my podcast page on the Instagram, one word, Cinnamon Movie Podcast. The Instagram page has all the links to the episodes. Every Monday, you can see my girthy pictures of physical media. And we were talking about DVD, Blu-ray. Same thing, Nick. 4K Blu-rays only. The only DVD that I have a copy of, and I think DVD is on its way out, but the only one that I have, because it's not on Blu-ray or 4K yet, is Blood In, Blood Out. You have to have Blood In, Blood Out. But yeah, go follow me. Go check us out. Instagram, giveaways, everything. Jake, where can I find you at?
Before I plug myself, last thing. You were talking about like movies that you can only get on DVD pretty much. There was a movie, and not a horror movie, just a normal, like weird, like action movie with Mickey Rourke in it or whatever. It was called Java Heat. It was a movie that no one ever saw. It was on like IFC or something. Like it was an IFC original or some shit. And
horror movie?
Huh?
You said action movie?
Yeah. Yeah, it's an action movie.
Oh.
It's not relative to this at all, just other than the fact that media. I bought it because, and they changed this in the actual movie, but I bought it because the name of the main character is my full name, first and last, which is wild to me. Like, because I don't have a regular, like, everyday name. Like, my name is like Jake Smith or whatever. And like that's not it. But the name of the character was my full name, so that's on the back of the DVD. So I had to buy that. It was just cool. It was just I look at it, I'm like, well, that's my. I remember hearing it on like an advertisement. I was at my grandparents. I heard it on an advertisement. I'm like, they just say my name. The TV just called me out. So I found it at Bull Moose like a long time ago, and I was like, oh my god, it's on here. But they changed it in the movie. But kept it on the DVD. I'm like, come on. But it's cool. I liked it. Oh, you can follow me at Funko Fat Guy on Instagram and on YouTube. I haven't been doing YouTube a whole lot, but every now and then I'll pop back on and do some things. There you go.
Nice.
I collect pops. If you didn't figure that one out already,
Pops.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Alrighty. This is a nice episode. Going on for an hour and 43 minutes.
That's a long
one. A little over than, I don't know, maybe record breaking one so far, just by maybe like 10 minutes.
I'm used to long live streams because I don't shut the fuck up. So
I mean, you can go for long durations, like the most of live ones. The streams I used to do go on for pretty while. But it's fun having you on this episode. It has been in the making.
It's been a wild ride.
It's been a wild ride.
But we made it.
And we do holidays. I'm looking forward to that too. And all I gotta say is, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Buy it on Blu-ray if you can.
Blu-ray, Amazon Prime, $2.99 if you want to rent it, or do yourself a favor and pick up the nice,
sweet cover art.
Yeah, especially for the inside of the Blu-ray. Just that, for that picture alone, I'm sold on it. Like I knew I was gonna be on there. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. All right, folks, always been a bad guy. See you on the next one.